Away we go, everybody. Welcome back to Pick and Roll. This is the daily NBA betting show that you get at 11:15 a.m. Monday through Friday on the Board NBA on Twitter and on YouTube. Make sure you have retweeted on Twitter and liked over there. And on YouTube, subscribe to our channel and drop a like as well. The Board is the NBA content division of the Hammer Betting Network. And with this show, as I mentioned, we go through some basketball discussion before bringing it to PipsNBA from Twitter to talk about his best bets for today. And not the biggest slate to work with for today, but we still have two official picks coming your way a little bit later on in the show. But before we get into that, let's discuss a team that you'd think is overachieving, but given the personnel, the way they're playing, I might think that they aren't quite drastically overachieving expectations of the Indiana Pacers, sitting at 10-6. I think 5 wins in a row now. Lots of players doing great things. Not Buddy Hield yesterday, which we'll get into. We'll talk about that. But overall on the season, Pips, what have been your thoughts on the Pacers and if this could be a playoff team?
Yeah, they started the season with 4 losses out of the first 5 games. And main thing was their defense. They were just poor. And with Miles Turner's back, Miles is like when healthy, like probably top 5 defensive bigs in the entire league. And he's amazing rim protector, and he can do amazing stuff on that end. And even though the other 4 guys are not doing great, we saw like for years with Utah Jazz, they just had Gobert, and they were like top 5 defensive teams in the league. With just having Rudy Gobert there. And over the last 10 games with Turner in the lineup, Pacers are above average on defense while being 8th best offensive team. And that's mostly because Tyrese Haliburton is playing like a superstar. Like, he's just amazing. He has like 20 points and 10 assist average on amazing efficiency, and he just, especially over the last couple of games. We bet him assists last game, and he ended up with 14 assists. And over the last like 7 or 8 games, he has 12 assist average. That's like amazing. Never had. It was a long time. Like, that's like Chris Paul assist. Like, amazing. Just amazing. We haven't seen that for years.
And the way Chris Paul plays, like, he's obviously a smaller guy, maybe not as good of a offensive threat on his own, but Haliburton seems to have those passing tools, more athletic, more size. Like, this is a special player. Yesterday we talked about the Kings, how good Sabonis has been for the Kings. Doesn't matter how good Sabonis has been, you don't give up Tyrese Haliburton, and we are absolutely seeing why with the Pacers. Buddy Hield is playing well this season. Again, not quite yesterday. Miles Turner has looked to me like he should be on an all-star team this season because, like you said, the rim protection is elite from him so far this season. He's been mostly healthy, some mild injury concerns, as you come to kind of expect these days with Miles Turner. I believe contract year, he's shooting 53% from the field, which would be a career high. He is shooting 36% from 3, which would not quite be a career high, would be second highest, but 17.5 points per game. Really upped his point production, has upped his rebound production. Like again, this could easily be an all-star, especially if the Pacers continue to win. Everybody just seems to be chipping in. Ben Mathurin, the rookie, looks like he's going to be winning 6th Man of the Year at this pace. He is scoring at an incredible rate. Even guys like McConnell on the bench, he just 2 or 3 things a game that just you look at him and you're like, this is a quality player. So it just seems like a well-built team, and it's kind of strange how well-built they are considering it looked like a sort of tank season. So Pacers are a very interesting team. But let's recap yesterday's picks. We'll start with Buddy Hield, as I mentioned. So he's been playing well, and yesterday we took him in that same game parlay with Haliburton. Haliburton easily cleared the assists. The handicap on Buddy Hield was good because he took 10 threes, and we only needed him to hit 3 of those, which he's done in his sleep this season. He goes 1 for 10 from 3. Was it just couldn't hit his shots yesterday?
Yeah, he was taking his usual shots, nothing crazy. The shots he usually makes, he was 40% of the threes before this in the season, and yesterday the shots was just he had actually like 3 wide opens, which is not something usual for him, and he still
Hmm.
bricked them, and it wasn't even close. And the interesting part is, yeah, he shot 10 threes, but only in 21 minutes. He left the game 5 minutes into the second half and never came back. If the game was a little bit closer, or if he made like one more three, I think he was on the pace to shoot like 16 or 17 threes, which will be
Crazy.
just amazing. Yeah, and I think that was one of the best bets so far we had, but unfortunate results.
Yeah, sometimes the handicap is there, you just don't get the results. I guess you take that with sometimes maybe the game doesn't quite go your way, but you do get those wins. But this is one that just doesn't quite fall our way. One that did go the right way was Demar DeRozan, with moderate comfort, cleared the line, and DeRozan against the Celtics. Did that just kind of go as expected for you the way he played?
Yeah, the unexpected part was him making threes.
Yeah.
He shot three, which is like amazing. And someone will say like, "Oh, we've been lucky there," but I don't think so, because he scored threes, but he missed like 12 out of 15 mid-range shots he usually makes. So yeah, just variance on the one side and
Yeah.
on the another, and yeah, 28 points is, yeah.
So sometimes handicap is there, doesn't quite come off as I mentioned. Sometimes maybe it doesn't go the way you expect, but you still get the win. So
Yeah.
we'll take the split, I guess, on that one. The third pick, Steph Curry, does not play, so that same game parlay is null. But we will move in now to the two bets that we have for today. We are going to start with the same game parlay in the Pistons and Nuggets game. Let's hear what we have for this one.
So for this one, we have Bojan Bogdanovic over 15.5 points and Jaden Ivey over 15.5 points, which is minus 105 after DraftKings. And someone will probably ask, like, why do we bet two guys from the same team over? And yeah, the main thing is Cade Cunningham is out. I mean, Stewart is out. Sadiq Bey is out. They're missing a lot of guys. And over the last couple of games, it was only like Bojan Bogdanovic, Jaden Ivey, and maybe some Burks or something. But these two guys are now first and second offensive option, getting to play against Denver Nuggets, who are down Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. They are playing DeAndre Jordan at 5, so scoring will come. And with the way, yeah, this graph shows Bojan Bogdanovic this season when he plays 28 plus minutes, and with all these guys out, I think he's down for 35 minutes tonight. He covered this pretty easily. And similar thing with Jaden Ivey. He scored 15 plus points whenever he get 30 minutes, and also with all these guys out, and especially last 3 games, his usage with Cade Cunningham out gone through the roof. Like went up from 21% to almost 30% again usage offensive, and yeah, he actually covered this line in the last 2 games prior to the last one, and he shot like 1 from 9 from the three. And the last game, the variance came back and he shot 4 for 4. And if he continues that shooting, he will cover this line pretty easily. And yeah, as I said, Hayes is starting. He isn't shooting much. Bagley is like terrible player. I just, yeah, I don't know what to think about him. And I will actually start Duran over him. And Duran is also, when on the floor, he isn't shooting anything. He's just getting rebounds and offensive rebounds. So yeah, I think like almost 50% of the usage will be between Bojan Bogdanovic and Jaden Ivey, and their coach actually staggered their minutes, so this bet won't affect one another at a higher rate.
Seems like we have a really good rookie class this year. Obviously, Banchero looking like the best of the bunch here, but I spoke about Mathurin earlier. Keegan Murray's having a decent year. And Jaden Ivey, big part of why this rookie class seems as good as it is. Same with Jalen Duren, who is very, very young and already showing some pretty good signs there. The Pistons, importantly, don't have to win this game to cover this bet because in 2 days ago when they played against the Kings, they put up 129 points but lost. It was clear this season going into it that the Pistons had some good stuff on offense, but were very, very bad on defense. And that is exactly what we've seen this season. So 2 guys to go over in the same team isn't as far-fetched as one might think on the surface. But let's transition now into the second pick for today. Nets at Sixers, the highly anticipated Ben Simmons return to the Philadelphia 76ers arena. You can only imagine what sort of reception he's going to get. I'm very interested just in how bad it gets from the crowd there, but your eyes are on Tobias Harris for this one. So let's see pick number 2.
So our second pick is Tobias Harris over 18.5 points, minus 105 at DraftKings. And first off, I was on Simmons PRA, like it was opened at 21.5, but before the show started, it moved to 25.5. It moved by 4 points.
That's crazy.
And I saw the last game from him, and he was pretty aggressive, doing a little bit of everything. And the motivation can be higher than today. And I think he can cover this line pretty easily. We all know, like, Simmons is throughout his career, he was like 15 to 16 points a game player with like 8-9 rebounds and assists.
Mm-hmm.
So I think his normal line should be around 32, 31. But we'll see how it goes throughout the season. But the last game, he was very aggressive and doing all kinds of great stuff. He ended up the game with shooting 11 from 13 from the floor. That was probably his best game over the last 3 years, which is amazing. And our bet for this game is Tobias Harris with Maxey out, Harden out, Embiid out. There is
somebody's got to score.
There is Melton and Shake Milton, but Tobias Harris is the guy who had throughout his seasons, some seasons where he averaged over 20 points. And I just checked the data, and when Harden, Maxey, and Embiid out in those minutes, Tobias Harris field goal attempts goes from 14 per 36 minutes to 20 per 36 minutes. And I think with the way the roster looks like, I think Tobias could be down for 40 minutes tonight. And if he attempts 20 field goal attempts, I think he can cover this line pretty easily.
Yeah, with Tobias Harris, I think maybe a slight misconception with the player, because the way he's playing this season is very much like a role player. He's not paid like a role player. He's very much overpaid. There's no real disputing that. He makes like mid-30s. But he signed to this contract because he is quite a good player, especially when he is the focal point of a team. Now, there's just the Sixers are spoiled for choices here in terms of their offense, and he's lower down in the pecking order. But when called upon to be more of a primary scorer, Tobias Harris has been able to do that in his career, which got the contract originally. So with him getting all the touches here for the Sixers with so many players out injured, I like Tobias Harris on the points here. So those are our picks. Let's just recap them for you guys quickly here. And for the first pick, we have Bogdanovich and Jaden Ivey, both of them to get over 15.5 points each. That is available for minus 105 at DraftKings. And going into the second pick, as we said, this is Tobias Harris over 18.5 points. That is minus 105 at DraftKings. So there you have it. 2 picks in play for the slate. Make sure you guys are tuned into the Hammer Betting Network. If you want more betting picks from other sports, on the Fine Margins YouTube channel and on @FineMargins with 2 S's on Twitter. We do a live show every day, every weekday at 4:15 p.m. Eastern time for picks about soccer. So you like basketball picks, maybe you also like soccer picks, and can check us out from the Hammer Betting Network on there. But if not, this show goes live every weekday at 11:15 a.m. Eastern time for more picks from Pips and more basketball discussion from myself. Thank you so much, everybody. We hope to see you tomorrow for more.